not lower than the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why it is known as Ukhtul Quran. Sahifa Sajjadiyya is known as Ukhtul Quran. Ukhtul Quran means the sister of Quran. Why? Because Quran that we have is known as Quran Samit, and the one that speaks is known as Quran Natiq. So when Imam alayhi salatu wasalam gives this to us, it is a speaking Quran that has left this to us. That is why it is known as Ukhtul Quran. It is known as the Zabur of Ali Muhammad, the Sahifa Sajjadiyya. Make an oath. I want to speak more about it, but inshallah some other time. Make an oath that you will read this particular book. There is another book of Imam alayhi salam, and these are his contributions, and we must celebrate these contributions of Imam. The second book of Imam that is written by him is, if you want to know, one of the first documents written on not only human rights and civil rights, but document written on the rights of your own body parts. The rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the rights of the king, the right of the wife, the right of the husband, huququl nas, huququllah. You will find it in the book of Imam Zainul Abidin known as Risalatul Huquq, treatise of rights that he has given to you and I. Take one of those rights, apply it into your life, come back the following year and celebrate it here with the fourth Imam, Imam Zainul Abidin salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. There is 15 whispered prayers of the Imam. In any mood you are in. You are happy, take one of those munajats. You are sad, take one of those munajats. You are feeling good, take one of those munajats. You want to prostrate, take one of those munajats. You want to express gratitude, take one of those munajats. Any mood that you are in, you will find that Imam alayhi salatu wasalam has addressed that particular emotion of yours in those 15 whispered prayers. So Imam's continuous contribution from that particular time to establish the Shia community, to hand it over to the fifth Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, that today you and I are in possession of all these resources. It is nothing but the barakah of the fourth Imam, Imam Zainul Abidin salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. Don't present him as a weak man. Please. Let us not present the fourth Imam as a weak individual, someone who was weak, someone who could not present himself. No, this man under the influence of the chains. This man spoke to Ibn Ziyad in Kufa. While he was heavily chained, he spoke to Ibn Ziyad in Kufa and he said to him, Atuhaddiduni bil maut? Do you scare me and intimidate me from death? Do you think I, Ali Zainul Abidin, is scared of that? Don't you know that Shahada is an honor for us? He speaks this language in front of a man who has control over him apparently. We present him as Bimar all the time. He wasn't. He was Bimar only for that particular day, and that also was due to the maslahah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the hujjah of Allah to remain on earth. There was no more than that. You will never hear in history that he had any disability whatsoever, that he was Bimar. So when we present him as Bimar, yes, it was only on that particular, a poet in Urdu says, wonderful poetry. Just one line of that poem is sufficient for us to know. The poet in Urdu says, Har moj hai sakka ki tadbir ke qabze mein. Every wave is in control of Abbas. हर मौज है सक्का की तदबीर के कब्जे में बहता हुआ दरिया है शब्बीर के कब्जे में. And then he says, why do you present him as an ill or a sick man? चाहे तो अभी कटकर गिर जाए सभी कड़ियां, सज्जाद को मत समझो जंजीर के कब्जे में. Don't see him under the control of the chains. He is the one who the chain kisses his feet. The chains and the shackles were kissing the feet. The reason probably for the shackles not wanting to remove it was because the chains wanted to hug the feet of Imam Zayn al-Abidin rather than for Imam Zayn al-Abidin to be shackled under them. So we must realize that his contributions are a lesson to us, and we must take these lessons and gain the ma'rifah and then say to Imam, Assalamu alayka ya Ali ibn al-Hussein. It makes your heart feel wonderful when you salute him, knowing for what he has done and what you and I have learned from him. My time is up. It is already salat time. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this wonderful occasion of the wiladat of the fourth Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, and in presence of Dr. Payam Azmi Sahab, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him a long life, inshaAllah, and we may draw inspiration from his poetry, inshaAllah ta'ala. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant Dr. Payam Azmi a long life, inshaAllah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him a good health, and all the poets and all the zakirin and all the nasiran of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the reappearance of the 12th Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. Upon his reappearance, to give you and I the tawfiq to join the Ansar and the Awan of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. May I request you to purify the atmosphere, to give fragrance to your breathing and to your lips by reciting 3 loud salawats in the name and the honor of Imam Zayn al-Abidin salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi.